I'm guilty of it myself, blaming CGI and saying we need to get rid of CGI in favor of practical effects in movies. But Freddie Wong recently released a video with RocketJump explaining that CGI by itself isn't necessarily a bad thing in the right hands. Let's take a look.
And you hear that a lot these days too, how practical effects are always better and filmmakers just need to use more of them. Because the fact is, computer-generated visual effects look bad and they're ruining movies, right? You see, I don't think so. I think the reason we think CG looks bad is because we only see bad CG. See, amazing, wonderfully executed CG is everywhere, you just don't know it. When done well and paired with solid storytelling, you will rarely notice that what you're looking at was churned up by a dirty, soulless computer in some Kiwi basement. It's because great visual effects serve story and character, and in doing so are, by their very definition, invisible. And the way you get great images has nothing to do with doing more practically, although, certainly that can help. It has to do with understanding the strengths and weaknesses of what the computer can do and playing to those strengths while supplementing the weaknesses with other techniques.
You could view the rest of Freddie Wong's video. We'll include a link below. It's very good, and he does bring up a good point. I mean, we do discuss effects when we're talking about movies and reviewing movies, and a lot of the time we do favor, or we say we favor practical effects, because when you look at things like Mad Max Fury Road and you look at the original Star Wars and you think, these look pretty good in comparison to maybe some things that aren't so good.
But then so many of us thought that most of Fury Road was all practical effects, and when you go in and see where the CG is, if it's done well, as Freddie says, you don't complain because you don't notice. It's hard because so much of filmmaking now relies on CG because it's cheaper, it's easier. Instead of blowing up a car, just throw some fire on it. It's a lot less hazardous. But yeah, like Scorpion King was completely ruined.
So funny.
And I love you, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, but that movie.
Yeah, because your CGI skills suck, Dwayne "The Rock."
Yeah, it's all your fault. It's all your fault. No, but it's a valid point, and I'm learning a lot about computer-generated graphics in the photography world. My boyfriend's been experimenting with this in his next level of photos, and it's interesting because he's almost wanting to cross that realm where you want to know that's not real. So sometimes CG can be used to enhance a project, but I think in the realm of filmmaking, especially if you're set in like a real grounded world, if you just kind of put like a random blue creature that runs around and like in the studio, it would feel out of place. So I feel like it's not just the skill of the artist, the money put into the project. I think as directors and writers, they should think about, will CG enhance or take away?
That's a good, very even-handed point. I mean, I was going to ask, where is the line? But I guess the line is right there. I mean, when we look at movies like, let's say, the Hobbit trilogy, a lot of that was full-on CG. I remember Ian McKellen was just like, is this why I got into acting? I am a classically trained actor. I'm so lonely. And because his whole world was green around him. Yeah. Is that too much or maybe okay in the right hands?
I feel because those movies tell such a fantastical story that they almost have to be done that way, but it does make me wonder about the new generation of actors. Are they ever going to interact with other people, or is it all going to be mocap suits and green screen rooms?
I mean, it's another style of acting, I guess.
Yeah, so it's tough because you take someone like McKellen and you put him in that, and he obviously was able to act phenomenally in that vein. But yeah, it's hard. I had a hard time with the Hobbit movies compared to the original Lord of the Rings trilogy because I felt there was...
And we certainly can't say Lord of the Rings was free of CGI.
No, it wasn't. But it was hard. It's a tough line. I mean, I will definitely say one of my... I was pulled out of Age of Ultron from the get-go because that opening montage scene felt a little too much like it was from a video game. And that...
Oh, that's why I liked it.
Yeah. And for me, I'm like, come on, Marvel, Disney, you've got like millions of dollars. Was it a stylistic choice or was it just sloppiness? And that's...
I mean, maybe. Yeah. I mean, there might be a point where you get lazy and there might be a point where it works or it's executed perfectly. What would you say is the most egregious offender of bad CGI?
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to say the Quidditch scenes in the first Harry Potter.
Yes, it's hard for me though to look at films from that time period because
It wasn't that long ago.
It's true. I know.
I'm not an old woman. Anyway.
Yeah. No, I think you showed it. You showed it with The Rock.
Scorpion
that
King.
was it. That's It ruined it.
In conclusion, you suck at CGI.
Yeah.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
But I still want to eat pancakes with you.
Yes, I want to spend my life with you. You're so cool. Audience, where do you think the line is between CGI and practical? Is one inherently better than the other? Also, I want to know what the worst CGI you've ever seen is. Let us know below in the comments, and please be sure to subscribe for more.